Hello and welcome to our lesson for the students who are preparing for IELTS examination. And the lesson 2 is all about importance of vocabulary. And as you know, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So let's talk about importance of vocabulary. Vocabulary is central to English language teaching. In fact, without sufficient vocabulary, students cannot understand anyone. They even cannot express their own ideas. As British linguist David A. Wilkins eloquently puts it, without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. So what we come to know about importance of vocabulary is that without grammar, somehow you can speak, somehow you can convey your ideas, you can express yourself. But without vocabulary, without words and their meanings, I think it's really impossible to communicate with others. So here we come to know the place of vocabulary in language learning, importance of vocabulary in language learning, how important it is, how significant it is to know more about vocabulary than about grammar. Of course, grammar is important, but the more important is vocabulary. So we have some more ideas in this direction about importance of vocabulary. Lewis, 1993, goes further to argue. And what does he argue? He says, Lexis is the core or heart of language. When we say Lexis, that is to say lexicon, that is to say the word. And he says that word is the core or heart of the language, soul of the language. If we take words out of the language, in fact, language does not exist at all. If you take grammar out of language, somehow you can be able to communicate, you can talk. And there are so many people, they talk even knowing much more about grammar. Sometimes even they don't know how to construct sentences grammatically well. But without words, of course, it's impossible to express. We have some more ideas. As students develop greater fluency and expression in English, it is significant for them to acquire more productive vocabulary knowledge. So when students slowly have the fluency in English language, they also have to chalk out vocabulary strategies to know more about them, to advance their knowledge of words. We have some more ideas. As Schmitt 2010 notes, learners carry around dictionaries and not grammar books. What he means to say is that dictionary, which is normally collection of words, normally talks about words, which talks about vocabulary. What he means to say is that dictionaries, that is to say vocabulary, that is to say list of words, is more important than the books of grammar. We continue our discussion. Voltaire purportedly said language is very difficult to put into words. He says that if you have no command over words, it will be very difficult for you to put ideas into proper order to make your language effective. What is language basically? Language is the art of putting words in a logical and artistic manner. If you know how to arrange your words beautifully, if you know how to put your words beautifully, that makes your language more appealing, more soothing, more persuasive. What is the difference between language of a common man and the language of a poet? A language of a common man, for him, it's very difficult to put ideas into words. But for a poet, it's very easy. It's a very artistic experience for him to put ideas into words, and then the language becomes very fascinating and appealing to the heart and mind. That is here what he means to say. We continue our discussion about importance of vocabulary. When you have a wider vocabulary in your target language, it helps support all 4 language skills. So if you have a wide range of words and meanings in your mind, it is going to help you, of course, in all 4 language skills. As Paul Nation 2015 noted, what he said? He says, vocabulary is not an end in itself. A rich vocabulary makes the skills of listening, speaking, reading and writing easier to perform. So the more words you know, the more meaningful impact it can have on the 4 skills. So what we come to understand about the significance of vocabulary in language learning is that without knowing words, it would be very difficult for you to learn a language. It would be very difficult for you to communicate, to express freely. Without knowing grammar, somehow you can be able to communicate. But without knowing words, it would be almost impossible to communicate. That is here the point. Hope you understand the concept. Thank you and goodbye.